Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your November 2018 mid-month reading. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to any newcomers. Always thank you for those of you who continue to follow my YouTube channel, for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and for those of you who send your feedback and comments, and to all of my clients out there, both regular and new. Thank you as well for continuing to keep me so busy and reaching out for those personal one-on-one readings. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can get more info and contact details by going to my YouTube channel's homepage, clicking on the little About button. You can also click on on the little description bar on any of the videos that I post for more information and contact details as well. Please feel free to email me directly at maggie_McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. And turnaround time is usually pretty timely. I do readings full-time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. I can usually get back to you within the same day or the first 24 hours of your initial response. And I do a wide variety of readings of all different types and lengths in all the main areas of life. All right, let's move right into this reading. This reading is for the fire sign of Leo for the remainder of November 2018. General readings can always resonate a little differently for everybody watching because there's so many of you watching. So if you know your rising and moon sign, watch those as well for additional clarification. And for those of you who celebrate Thanksgiving later on this month, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Okay, Leo, let's see what's in store for you for the remainder of November 2018. We have the Hermit, followed by the Star. We have the Four of Wands, followed by Justice. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and guidance for the remainder of November 2018 is the Fool. Leo, you definitely have some happy energy coming in for you, although for some of you it might be more towards the latter part or the end of November. Not to say that you're not going to be happy in between now and then. It looks like the scales are balancing out evenly for you in something that for a lot of you may have a connection to home and family, if not a primary or significant relationship. Now, we find ourselves around the middle of the month with the Hermit and the Star. Powerful combination, two major arcana cards. The Hermit is a card that speaks about withdrawing for reflection, introspection. It's a card that can represent isolating, but I often see other cards come out in terms of isolating or negative isolation. I mean, what do hermits do? Hermits, monks, monastics. They withdraw from the distractions of conventional life in order to seek out wisdom, guidance, insight. They're seeking enlightenment, perhaps seeking a solution for something, and they use both their connection to source and the sum total of their life's experience to help guide them or find an answer and help them navigate their way through something, which is why the Hermit is usually portrayed as an aged person, having a wealth of life experience, and the light that he is using to guide his way is symbolic for his life experience and wisdom and his connection to source. So some of you, I get this feeling, particularly in combination with the Star, that some of you may have, you might be doing this right now. Some of you, I mean, it's a general reading and timing is always fluid and never more so than a general reading because there's so many of you watching. So it might be a little earlier for some of you or a little later for others. But I'm getting a sense of some of you, even if you haven't, I feel like some of you have kind of maybe went away for a few days or a weekend. I don't feel like it's a long period of time, but you went somewhere specifically for the purposes of kind of being in a place where you didn't have the distractions of your normal everyday life in order to It could be that you spent this time in active reflection and contemplation on a specific issue. It could be that because I feel like a lot of you have been under some pressure lately, and you went somewhere, perhaps by yourself or in a place that's very quiet, just to seek out, maybe get a few days of quiet, peace, meditation. And whether or not you used or are using that time for, again, active reflection on a specific issue or something that you're maybe needing to get some enlightenment or some insight on. I feel like it was truly a connection to source and a time of peace and quiet. Some of you, this may be something that you're doing or thinking about doing. Others of you, maybe that you can't leave your, even for a few days, some of you maybe can't leave your conventional day-to-day life, but you may be spending a bit more time to yourself and reflecting and contemplating as well. Maybe not going out so much or being so social or just engaging with people as much for the same reasons. Now, what clarifies the Hermit is the Star, and I really love this because the Star is a major arcana card that represents hope, faith, and optimism. Trusting in God, Spirit, your angels, and guides, but it's a sense of renewed hope, faith, and optimism. And I like that it clarifies the Hermit because those of you who have or are now or are planning to in the very near future to kind of, take a step back and get either a reprieve or a refreshing of some kind, maybe in a quiet environment or spending more time to yourself. The Star represents that from that stillness or that meditation or that time to yourself comes a sense of renewed hope, faith, and optimism, even if you're not specifically sure where it comes from. Renewed because I usually see the Star come out. The Star is the light that kind of shines in the darkness to guide the way, which is what this Hermit is doing as well, or seeking. And I usually see this come out, during a period or after a period of somebody going through a difficult or challenging time. As I often say, it's kind of a feeling of darkness into light, winter into spring, sickness into health. For those of you who may have been, ill recently, this would represent being on the mend, kind of being on the upswing. For those of you who have been dealing with anything emotionally painful or stressful, this represents kind of coming out of that. But more than that, it really represents knowing that you're going to come out of it. And even if there's a specific problem or issue that you have going on and perhaps you don't have an answer to or you can't see the answer to, the Star represents trusting in source, trusting in divine timing and orchestration, trusting that the path that you're on is one of joy and fulfillment. And as long as you just keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing what's in front of you to do, that everything is going to be all right, even if you can't see how or why, because it's about walking in faith, which can be difficult to do and the kind of temporal world that we live in today. But the Star is about walking in faith and trusting in God, Spirit, your angels, and guides, giving your all, even if you feel there's no reason to, kind of staying the course, even if you feel sometimes or hear other people say, what are you doing this for? Why don't you just give up and go do something different? So, and what it's in reference to, I think that for a lot of you, because we have the Four of Wands here, there is this connection to home and family or relationship. Some of you, this could indeed be, a job, work, or career situation. But again, if it is, there's this effect on your home and family life, whatever that might mean to you. But definitely there's a sense of renewed hope and faith that things will work out. That as long as you keep giving your all, as this woman is doing, and keep putting one foot in front of the other, basically, because that's really what walking in faith means, particularly when particularly if we have an issue or a problem and we don't have an answer to it. This is about, and the Hermit and the Star. I mean, some of you may, around the middle of November or so, may have this, a flash of insight or that epiphanic moment. But I think a lot of you, whether you come out of this Hermit energy with, specific clarity or not, there is this sense of just be at peace, because it's going to work out for your joy and fulfillment one way or the other, which is walking in faith. It's when you don't have that concrete reason or that concrete itinerary or proof that is evidential, which is what walking in faith is about. So lovely, beautiful energy. Now, next to that, at or towards the end of November 2018, we have the Four of Wands and Justice. And here's where the light begins to shine quite a bit more brightly as well. The Four of Wands, it's one of the happy home celebratory feeling cards. And the Star is also one of the wish fulfillment cards too, or having faith in that fulfillment that you'll get. The Four of Wands is a card that speaks of celebratory energy, and it can represent an actual celebratory event. It is one of the marriage or wedding cards. It can represent, something as formal as that, wedding, graduation, anniversary, celebrating with friends and family, and in doing that, kind of connecting to the simple joys and gratitude for who and what you have in your life. It's also called the unexpected blessing or a happy surprise card, because typically when it comes up, it usually represents it in a fairly short period of time. There's going to be an unexpected blessing or a happy surprise coming, and even though we're doing this reading, you know that it's coming, it's still going to be something that takes you off guard in quite a lovely way. It may also be attached to a celebratory event as well, whether it's a formal one or just a casual one, like, hey, let's go for coffee or a drink or come over for a barbecue or something of that sort. When this shows up, I always tell clients, don't turn down any invitations to go to anything, even if you think, oh, it's not my thing, because you never know what might happen. Now, what clarifies that lovely energy is Justice in the upright. This is the reap what you sow card, representing that the outcome of something is entirely dependent on the decisions, action choices, what goes into something. Therefore, because justice is blind, that's what it's based on, not what we wish for, want for, hope for, or intended, but on what we actually do and choose and set into motion, the work that we do, what we do with something. So the cautionary advice of justice is always to operate at the highest level of personal honor and integrity possible, because that will make a difference, that will make the difference in the outcome of something. In the upright position, there is a strong implication of things working out in your favor, contracts and negotiations working out well for you if it has something to do with business, career, work, finance, which also has a benefit to your home and family. Agreements evening out, things being karmically fair. Whatever the outcome is, it's going to be based on what people actually do and choose. Therefore, the outcome will be karmically fair based on that. But in the upright position, it's a strong implication that justice will be served in a positive way because of what went into it. I feel, and I kind of have this feeling, Leo, that the scales are being balanced out. Now, for some of you, this could be an actual legal situation, perhaps a court case or a legal issue or battle of some kind that's being decided in your favor, or, at least has a really positive benefit on you and your family as well. Some of you, it might be things working out in career, work, and finance, particularly if you were hoping to get a raise, a promotion, a job, that contract, etc. Again, which has a positive effect on home and family, and there is a celebratory energy. We are also approaching the holiday seasons here in the United States. We do have Thanksgiving coming up, and then Christmas and New Year's after that. So also could be a gathering of friends and family, and kind of reconnecting and relishing to the joy of and gratitude for these people that we have in our lives. But I feel like there's something balancing out, or something coming to fruition which you have waited for, hoped for, fought for, and your overall energy being the Fool, my favorite major arcana card in the tarot. It's about taking a leap of faith, walking in faith, exploring new paths, maybe stepping outside your comfort zone, doing something different or in a different way, exploring the potential and possibility of something new. And it's something I feel that, again, you have fought for, and by fighting for, it could be in a very active sort of way, it could be in a quiet way, just simply believing in what you hoped an outcome would be, being patient, being balanced, standing by, even if sometimes it seemed like maybe it wasn't, you weren't doing the right thing, or it wasn't ever going to happen, or you heard, maybe some chatter from well-meaning but intrusive friends or family. I'm curious. Let's just pull two more cards to see what would have come out next if we were going to do, like, say, a full month from the beginning reading. We have the Five of Swords, a hard-won victory, and the Ace of Wands, exciting new beginnings, which corresponds with your overall energy of the Fool, new beginnings, exploring the potential and promise. I feel like whatever this new beginning is, this transition into something else, I feel like, especially, the Ace of Wands came out first, clarified by the Five of Wands. This is something which is a hard-won victory. It can represent other things, but in here I'm definitely feeling that, especially as the Five of Swords is sitting next to Justice. This is something, whatever is coming to fruition and happening for you, and perhaps some of it in an unexpected way, it represents a type of a victory for you, moving into a new era, particularly in connection to friends and family, maybe a significant or primary relationship, definitely a positive effect on the people around you that care and love you. And again, I feel like this new beginning, this lovely, fiery, passionate, fun, exciting new beginning is one that you fought for. Some of you may have just fought for that over and over again in a verbal sort of way, maybe, sticking by there. Some of you, we all have different ways of fighting for things, and sometimes the best way to fight is to not do it in maybe such an aggressive or overt way, although sometimes that is called for, but simply in believing in what we believe in, having that sense of hope and faith, even if, walking in faith, even if sometimes we're not quite sure why, and being patient, and watching things kind of come to fruition. So a really lovely, beautiful reading, Leo. Very happy to bring it to you. Again, if any of you would be interested in a personal reading with me, live or recorded, please feel free to contact me directly at Maggie@gmail.com. I would be most happy to work with you and schedule a reading with you as quickly as possible. I do love and romance, of course, relationship compatibility charting, reconciliation potential, career work and finance, as well as investment readings. I do channeled messages from past on loved ones, as long as there was a strong connection there, because that's when it comes through the easiest. And I also do 6 and 12 month overviews, which are quite popular towards the last couple of months of the year, although you can order them anytime during the year. They take a look in all the main areas of your life and what's coming over a 6 or 12 month period of time. And a lot of people like to order those towards the end of the year in anticipation of what the next half year or the next year is bringing. And gift readings as well, which are always more popular this time of year, although of course you can order a gift reading for anyone anytime during the year, but a lot of people like to order them as gifts for people during the holidays. So a lot of options to consider. Send me an email if you're interested, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So Leo, that pretty much wraps up your November 2018 mid-month reading. I hope that you found it helpful. It's a pretty lovely reading. So I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December 2018 general readings. And until then, Leo, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.